Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep today into the world of AI search.
Yeah.
And specifically, a company that's been making some serious waves lately, Perplexity AI.
Right. It's a name you're hearing more and more, isn't it? Especially when people talk about, how AI is changing search.
Absolutely. And look, our source for this deep dive is a really insightful TechCrunch article.
Okay.
It pulls key points from what Perplexity's CEO, Aravind Srinivas, shared at a recent Bloomberg Tech Summit.
Ah, right. So straight from the source, essentially, giving us a window into their current thinking and maybe more importantly, their big plans.
Exactly. So our mission is pretty clear. Let's pull out the key takeaways from this article. We want to understand Perplexity's momentum right now, which is driven by some, frankly, pretty surprising numbers, and then explore their bold plans for the future.
Which seem to center around this new project, Comet.
That's the one, Comet. And get ready, because this vision, it could genuinely change how you think about using the internet. So let's kick things off with those numbers because, wow, according to Srinivas at the summit, Perplexity handled, get this, 780 million queries last month.
In May.
780 million. 80 million. Just in May. For a company that's, only been really active since 2022? That's a phenomenal scale already.
It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it? And the growth isn't slowing down. He stated they're seeing more than 20% growth.
Month. Over.
Month. Wow, 20% month over month is huge, especially at that volume.
Think about where they started. The article notes, on their first day back in 2022, they did a total of 3,000 queries.
3,000 compared to what are they doing daily now?
Now doing 30 million queries every single day.
Okay, that comparison really highlights the acceleration from 3K a day to 30 million a day. I mean, those aren't just big numbers. They signal, incredibly rapid user adoption.
Yeah, and successful scaling in a really competitive space.
Definitely competitive.
It's explosive growth. And Srinivas seems pretty confident they can keep it up. He projected they're aiming for 1 billion queries a week within a year.
1 billion a week. If they sustain that growth, that's ambitious.
Extremely ambitious. Now, hitting 1 billion queries a week, especially when you're up against, the giants, that takes a pretty radical strategy, right?
It has to, yeah.
And the article points to their upcoming project, this Comet browser, as the key thing meant to drive that future growth.
Right. Comet. This seems to be where Perplexity's ambition shifts. It's not just about being a better search box anymore.
Exactly. Srinivas explained the fundamental shift they're going for with Comet. It's about changing AI's role.
Okay.
From just, providing answers to actually completing actions for you.
Ah, okay. Actions, not just information retrieval. That's a significant difference.
Huge difference. He used a great analogy, actually. Getting an AI answer today, he said it's kind of like doing 4 or 5 searches all rolled into one result.
Right. It saves some steps, but you still have to do something with the answer, usually.
Precisely. But having AI perform an action, that, he said, would be like getting an entire browsing session done with just one prompt.
Okay, whoa. An entire session from one prompt. Think about the time savings, the effort reduction.
It's a massive leap.
Yeah.
And it's clear, achieving that kind of AI action requires, and this is his phrase, rethinking the whole browser.
Rethinking the whole browser. Okay.
And the article notes this involves hybridizing compute on the client and server side.
Right. Hybridizing compute. That sounds technical, but it's pretty key, I think.
Can you break that down a bit? What does that actually mean for, the user experience?
Sure. Basically, it means they can't just rely on their big servers in the cloud for everything.
Okay.
They also need to use the processing power that's already on your device, your computer, your phone. That's the client side.
So it's blending their cloud power with the power I have right here.
Exactly. It's about using both together. This hybrid approach is likely needed to make the AI feel fast, responsive, integrated. Not like you're just sending a request off and waiting.
Got it. So it feels more like the AI is acting with you right there.
Precisely. That seems necessary for this vision of AI completing actions, handling whole browsing sessions for you.
And that leads us to this really intriguing term Srinivas used for Comet. He said it's not just yet another browser.
No. What then?
He called it a cognitive operating system.
Cognitive operating system. Okay, that's a bold phrase. It implies something much more aware, more integrated than just Chrome or Safari.
It really does, doesn't it? According to the source, he explained, this means it'll be there every time, anytime, for work or life.
Always on, always available.
Yeah. It could operate as a system on the side or, and this is the kicker, literally just going and doing browsing sessions for you.
Wow. Doing browsing sessions for you, that connects back to that action-oriented goal.
Totally. And this whole vision, it connects to another point he made about how we use the internet now. He noted that people are increasingly living on the internet, not just visiting websites now and then. So much of our work, our communication, our life happens online.
That's undeniable. We spend huge amounts of time there.
So if we're living there, the thinking seems to be for an AI to be truly helpful, proactive, personal.
It needs to kind of be there with you.
Exactly. It needs to live together with you in that online space, which, from their viewpoint, is why just improving search isn't enough. You have to rethink the whole platform, the browser itself. Now, the article also brings up another more strategic reason for developing Comet, something the CEO mentioned back in April.
Okay, beyond the user features.
Yeah, this gets into the business side. The reason is to track user activity beyond just the Perplexity app itself.
Tracking activity through the browser. That sounds familiar.
Right. The stated purpose is to use a broader understanding of what you do online.
Glean through the browser.
To sell premium ads. And the article explicitly notes that Srinivas compared this strategy to, quote, what Google quietly did to become the giant it is today.
Okay, that comparison is pretty direct. Building a detailed user profile from web activity to target ads. I mean, that's the bedrock of Google's business model.
Exactly.
So it suggests Perplexity sees this deep integration, this browser play, as their route to serious monetization and scale, moving beyond just charging for the AI features themselves.
It seems like a key part of the long-term plan, yeah. Okay, so this Comet project, it sounds incredibly ambitious, a cognitive OS, doing actions, tracking activity. What about, practical stuff? When might we actually see it?
Well, the article gives a pretty specific timeline based on a tweet from the CEO.
Oh, yeah. What did it say?
According to a tweet from May 13th, Srinivas said it was expected to launch in a minimum of 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
And a maximum of 5 weeks from that date, May 13th.
Okay, so if that timeline mentioned in the article holds, we should be seeing it or hearing more very, very soon, possibly even now or in the next couple of weeks.
Seems likely based on that statement.
And the article also mentions some planned features. Maybe not right at launch, but coming soon after.
Yeah, a very fast follow-up, I think they called it. Things like native recording for virtual meetings.
So interesting, like Zoom or Teams calls.
Presumably. Plus, automatic transcription of those meetings and then being able to search across all that recorded content.
Okay, that could be genuinely useful for work.
Definitely. The article also threw in a note that the underlying tech, the reliability and latency have improved, which you'd hope for if it's going to be doing all this.
So let's kind of step back. Why does all this deep dive into Perplexity and Comet matter to you listening right now?
Well, because these aren't just minor updates we're talking about. This represents a potential shift, right?
A shift in how you find information.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But also maybe how you interact with online services, how you manage tasks, maybe even your whole relationship with the internet.
Yeah, think about that difference again. Going to an AI tool to ask something versus having an AI that potentially, lives with you inside your browser.
Ready to act for you across different sites based on what you want to achieve.
It's a different paradigm.
It really is. And it brings up some fascinating questions, doesn't it? About convenience, sure, but also trust, privacy, how much control we hand over to AI.
Right. So just to recap this deep dive then, we've seen Perplexity's really phenomenal growth. Millions of queries daily, aiming for 1 billion a week. Pretty staggering stuff.
Definitely sets the stage.
Then we explored this bold vision behind Comet. Not just a browser, but a potential cognitive operating system.
Yeah, designed to act on your behalf, doing browsing sessions for you.
And we touched on the strategic side too. Integrating more deeply into your online life, potentially tracking activity to fuel a premium ad business.
Following a path that, worked very well for Google.
It's a clear signal they want to be much more central, much more integrated into how you experience the web.
No doubt about it.
And so maybe the final thought to leave you with, based purely on what the source material suggests. If the internet is where we increasingly live, as Srinivas put it, what does it really mean when an AI wants to live together with you in a cognitive operating system that can act and browse for you?
Right.
What might that actually look like day to day? And I guess how much of your digital life gets delegated?
Yeah. Something definitely worth thinking about as we start to see things like Comet emerge.